welcome back to Better Than Fiction with Jeanette and Eden. This is our May wrap up into June. Oh my goodness.
I know, time's going fast.
It sure is. I have big news. I did not complete the challenge. I decided to DNF my, the book prompt one, which was read a thriller set in a foreign country.
What DNF means?
Did not finish. I just couldn't care about what is going on in this story. It's about two men in the 1700s, which I thought would be interesting because history, and I do like that, set in Switzerland. And they're trying to solve this gruesome murder, and it's in 4 parts, and I just couldn't care about how they solved it.
It's okay to DNF.
So
okay, that just means
doing it.
It's done.
I'm done. I want to pick up something different that I do want to read, so I didn't complete all 3 challenges, but I gave it a good college try.
And again, you know, a different book, different time, it's all fine. And there are a few books on TBR lists usually.
Yeah.
Let one go.
Exactly.
Pick up something better.
Yep. So I'm moving on, but I did finish my my TBR number, which was The Women of Troy by Pat Barker. That was fantastic. I do really like Greek mythology, so that was a good one to pick up. I hadn't realized that it was the second book of a series. It picks up right after the first book that she wrote about Greek mythology, so I was a little lost at the beginning, but still turned out great. And then my nonfiction, I read When Books Went to War, set in World War II, about the Armed Service Editions books and how paperbacks came about, and just the importance of books no matter what. It's just, it really reiterated that. And it hit home a bit, so yeah, it was really good.
I agree. I had read that one when it was new, and it was eye-opening, and I don't know, as a librarian, it made me feel that no matter what we do is important.
Yes. Yep. Very much so. And that was my wrap up. I didn't get too much reading done this month. I was busy outside gardening, so.
Well, I am not a gardener. I kind of depend on everyone else and Mother Nature to take care of that. I was able to finish all of my challenges. My nonfiction, I finished up actually, this weekend.
Yep.
I read for my nonfiction in May, Modernist Dreams and Brutalist Nightmares. It is a biography, so it was in the zeros, about a young person, a young woman who grew up in the late 60s and into the 70s and in and around Glasgow. Wow, harsh biography. We all think some place is better than where we are. And, people, you talk to folks, I want to go to Ireland or I want to go to Scotland. And, we kind of look harshly at Harlem and kind of around Detroit and some of that, and you realize that was happening everywhere in the world. I also finished Trespasses, which is on the women's long list for the Women's Fiction Prize, right around the time of the NRA and all of that happening. And then we have Scotland. There's a lot of abuse and just unhappy poverty and slum-style living that you have around large cities. And actually the impact of World War II on Glasgow because of the bombing and how it just really couldn't come back for the longest time after that because it decimated so much. So really interesting, gave me a whole insight of Scotland and Glasgow in the late 60s, early 70s that I just had no idea about. I totally learned something. So that one's on our shelves, and so is Trespasses.
Great.
I finished my number. I actually read 2 biographies because my number 4 was also a biography, and it was The Stable Boy of Auschwitz. And it is a biography of a young man who lived through Auschwitz, and all of those things. And then was in California as a dentist. And what I found as fascinating as his story during World War II is his after story and how successful he came. And this book came about particularly because he was talking to one of his patients. Because his patient had noticed the thin number, the faded number on his arm. And conversation happened, and he really hadn't talked about it. And all of a sudden, it kind of came out. They collaborated and wrote the book. This one was a quicker read because I was really fascinated with the backstory, and it is interspersed in with his story of when he was a child and what had happened to him. My thriller set in a foreign country, I read We Spread by Ian Reid. It's Canadian. And it's a psychological thriller. It wasn't a murder. We don't think. Even at the end, I will say that I listened to the ending multiple times because I went, what in the world just happened? And because I did do it in audio and recommend it in audio because the voice was just really awesome. You go through this whole book and you kind of question, was it dementia? Is they lost in dementia, or is it an experiment? And it's a short book. It moves fast, and I will tell you, I was really in tune to not missing one bit of that audiobook. So I do recommend that one. It was if you like The Silent Patient, this one's for you.
There you go. Yeah.
If I'm going to read a thriller, I like the psychological thrillers.
Sure.
So if you like the Silent Patient, give We Spread by Ian Reid a try.
Cool.
And I read a bunch of other things, but that's okay. We don't need to go over that, but I did read Trespasses, which is women's fiction, and I've been kind of proud of myself. I have now read 85% of the long list for women's fiction.
Very good.
I know, I was pretty impressed with myself, so I'm going to keep getting through them because I know one of them you really liked, Bandit Queen, which I had not read yet.
That one didn't make the shortlist cut. I was bummed about. I like that one.
I'm still excited to read that one. I also read Children of Paradise, which is on the women's... No, that one I think is on the International Booker. Really interesting, particularly if you like old film, old movie theaters. The whole book takes place right there. And the characters are really interesting. So if you're looking for a book that the plot is, I don't know, I'd say the plot's weak, but the characterizations are strong and up above par. I can see why it was listed on that list. So I was pretty excited with that. I also finished off my bingo card, a Iowa author.
Oh yeah.
I read it, the DeWitt author.
Lexi
Burks, yes. Lexi Burks, The Diary of Her Disappearance, which I thought was fun.
Yeah.
So I completed that challenge as well.
Well, great. Shall we pull our numbers?
Absolutely.
Okay, TBR number. Here we go.
Here we go. What number are we? We are number 5. Five.
That's one of my commitment books.
Oh!
This is a huge book. I think this one is 800 plus pages. I am going to be reading The Priority of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon.
Commitment.
That is huge.
We're talking like 4 inches here.
That's a thick book. But I'm really excited to read it, and I've been putting it off because it's so intimidating.
Well, I'm excited.
So I'm glad I'm getting to it.
And I'm excited to get your review because that is on my TBR list too. Yeah. Unless you totally DNF it or say,
no. I have a feeling I'm going to love it.
Yeah,
but it's just
excited.
So big.
It's like 4 inches.
It's huge. Yeah.
It's huge. It's big. And it's paper and little print.
Yeah. Yep.
Not minuscule, but it's not big.
You're right. I'm looking forward to it.
Yay! Commitment book time for Eden.
Yeah.
I will be reading The Girls of Hardscrabble Bay, which talks about... it's historical fiction and about some family and girls growing up in rural Canada.
Okay. Back to Canada for you.
Back to Canada. which I'm not sure why I've been reading so much Canadian. I mean, I did last year. I found some new writers, so these are new writers for me here too. So who knows? Maybe they're getting some more attention. And our writing prompt is read a book with a red cover.
Ooh, easy. Red
Easy.
cover.
This is what she says.
Well,
red cover.
Easier to find a red cover than, I don't know, finding a book that was a thriller set in a foreign country was a little tough for me. Even though there's a lot out there, nothing was piquing my interest. So I struggled with that one. Red cover, easy to find.
Well, I think I'm going to read my second choice for my thriller because it has a red cover.
There you go.
It's a thriller, again, it was interesting, based around a lost film.
Okay.
I was going to pick it up for my thriller, then I found, this other one, and it just grabbed me, so that's when I finished. Haven't started the other one. I'm not sure I care for books that intersperse like a screenplay to read. That is not my favorite. I know that one of the prize winners from 4 years ago now, you read it like a screenplay, and it was not my favorite, so I don't know if I'll pick that one up or not, but that is a choice.
Yep.
It is a choice.
My nonfiction I'm going to read this month is in the 600s, I'm doing like home and family, I think is what this would fall under. It is Clean Green Tips and Recipes for Naturally Clean, More Sustainable Home. Nice
It's a little
one,
bug. It's a little bug. So if you ever come looking for, that's little print.
It is. But
it's a little book with little print.
Little book, little print. Yeah, clean home.
Well,
clean green.
If you learn something.
If I learn something,
share.
I'll have a squeaky clean house.
Excellent. Well, I am heading over to ethics and psychology. Mine is Who Gets Believed by Dinah Neri. And it's about our world and fake news and, when you tell people just BS through it, and making it a little larger, better than it is. So this is an important book, I think, and I'll learn a lot over BSing and especially in the idea of truth and how it's important. So this is getting a little bit of attention. It's one off our brand new bookshelf, so I thought it was fascinating. Gives me a perfect excuse to take the time to read it.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So again, your TBR number, if you're following along with the challenge still with us, is TBR number 5. Our reading prompt is book with a red cover.
Book with a red cover.
Yeah.
And then, of course, wherever you choose for your nonfiction.
Yep. Make sure you join us for our summer reading program this year as well.
Oh, so exciting.
Read those 20 minutes and get those minutes
TBR list down.
Cut those in half, all right?
And we're not giving out necessarily prizes, though we do have free books to give away throughout the summer, nice new ones. You get to earn money for one of your favorite community helpers. We have 3 community helpers that will be the police department, the fire department, and the food pantry at the referral center. For every
6 hours you read, you get $1. And if you read
12
hours and turn that into us, you get $3. So you save, you get extra.
You get a deal. And we'll give you a Friends of the Library dollars to put into wherever you want your reading efforts to go to. So we're pretty excited. We are reading for others this year. So come on and join us. Join us in our Unity project that we unveil June 7th, so I'll be watching for that video too. We're pretty excited about that. So let's get those TBR lists down this summer. 20 minutes at a time.
Yes. Happy reading.
Happy reading.